Hi guys, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily. I am Crafty Emily here on YouTube, and you're very welcome to spend some time with me this afternoon. It is Wednesday, August the 6th, so we're into August, and it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I finished work at 2. Carlisle was absolutely rammed. It took me an hour to get home. It took me 22 minutes to get to work at 4:30 this morning, and took me an hour to get home. And then we had to go out, so to drop off a parcel for Flora to do, and I have a drink. She treated. She sold her first thing on Vinted, so she spent 4 times as much money in Tim Horton for us, and we got some. There are a few of these in the UK, so I have a drink, which is nice. Anyway, stitching. I've done a lot less stitching this week, let me tell you. Had a full week at work, back to normal. Yeah, it was a bit kind of squinty going back after having 11 days off, which was lovely. So last week we did 5,756 stitches, which is about ballpark. It turns out I stitch about 6,000 stitches a week, unless I'm off and have the time and the mind to just stitch a whole load. I think actually I've got 8 whips to show you, but 2 of them will be inserted. They're long dogs. So yeah, yep, he's off somewhere. Right, so what shall I start with? I have forgotten one. That's great. That's a good start. So I've started my Whip Go projects for August, and the first one I'll show you is A Night Walked Down, which I think I started in 2020. As soon as Janine brought the pattern out, I got it as soon as I could get it in the UK. Wonderful pattern, I absolutely loved it. I still love it. My colour choices, maybe not so much now, but only because they're wild, and I'd maybe be a bit more careful with my colour now, but because I've started it, I'm absolutely going to continue with my colours. So I am using, very like my Shores of Hawkrun Hollow, I am using a glorious Technicolor palette of things I had, including some very old skeins of, I'm assuming this is rayon, this was my grandmother's, and some non-shiny, which I'm assuming is like cotton pearl. It's thinner than cotton pearl, and the shiny is vibrant. I have some pinky purples. Yeah, they were my grandma's. So, and yeah, everything else under the sun is in here too, including some weird green fabric, which is pretty yuck. Anyway, it's a bag full of stuff. So it looked like this when I pulled it, and you saw it last week. And I've put in, where's my sheet? Oh, 1,142 stitches. This is very, very easy to stitch on. I found out it's very easy to stitch on this. It's 32 count, I think. It's Picture This Plus, and it was Storm, I think, which I then very, very lightly over dipped in a purple because I thought it was purple, and I was so sad when it wasn't. So anyway, it looks like this now, and what I've done is I've finished the first page of the pattern, which is a part page here, and now I'm going up here. I finished off the owl, who is, yeah, he's vibrant. He's a vibrant owl, and I'm just going with it. So what I'm doing for these flowers, which I hadn't stitched, and there's another flower. There's not another flower, I've done the other flower. Oh, that's nice. I've basically reversed. So this flower, I reversed it there. That flower, I reversed it there. Couldn't find that colour, pulled another colour, just got on with it. This flower here, I reversed for the bud. And yeah, the counting is shocking, because this should be in here with a big margin around it, and it just isn't. So this is very much like a lot of my early starts. The counting is absolutely terrible. So there's a note to yourself if you're just setting out in your cross stitch journey, and then you pick things up 4 years later, you find you find how much you've improved. So and this was actually the very first needle minder I ever got, which was the free gift with my Mrs. Sadie's Darling silk. And I didn't even know about needle minders until that arrived as a free gift, and I was just absolutely like, wow, I love it. And then this is one that I made, I think. Either I made it or Lizzie made it, which was the inspiration for the ones that I sell now, my little rainbows. But that one's hand rolled. I now extrude them so they're even, but this one is hand rolled. Anyway, clogging on with this. So I'm on the next piece of the pattern. I'm just pulling one page of pattern at a time, and as you can see, that's how it ends up. It's drawn. This is the actual printed, the pattern as it arrived, paper pattern, and I'm just scribbling all over it because I'm not going to stitch it again. This pattern is readily available, so I'm just going to be done with it when I'm finished. Yeah, so that's basically it for that bit of pattern, apart from I've got some lettering. I've got 2 little snowflakey things like Quaker snowflakes and the top border to go. And then I'll just carry on with my pages of pattern. So I'm going to have another good go at that later on. I'm squinting slightly because it's so bright in this room at the moment, but it's light, and light is great. Okay, so the next thing I stitched on was my dragonfly. And I've put in 939 stitches into my dragonfly. It looked like this when I pulled it out last week. Now it looks like this. I've been concentrating on getting the wings stitched in, and I've put in some bits and bobs in the extra bits around the edges. I think it's nearly at 80%, so this one's going to be done quite quickly. I have made a change. I checked these here should be 310. Now, I wasn't going to be able to see 310. Oh my god, a cat has been sitting on this. Can you see the cat hair on this? I need to get must have been Sid, because it's not long pile, it's short white pile, so it must have been Sid. I was never going to be able to see these in as 310, so I've used 317, which is in the colour palette for this piece. I've got a box with all the threads in here, and these are like Amazon's answers to CXCs. So rather than using the 310, the 317 was already in there, so that's what I used as the next darkest colour. I did the 37 on the ladybird, but he's a ladybird, needs black. So there we go, coming along. Hopefully next week this one will be done and I'll be on one of the others. Might be Mr. Spider next, because he is coming along. And people always ask me about these patterns. I got them from Etsy, bought them as a group of, I think, 8. I think there's a stag beetle and a firefly that I'm not stitching, which I probably won't ever stitch. But I think, and if I'm wrong, I will put it up on the screen when I edit. I think it's X Cross Stitch Patterns X, I think is the name. But if you go to Etsy and you search Cross Stitch Spider, that spider pattern is going to be one of the top hits. And if you go into her shop, she has got hundreds of beautiful patterns. A lot of them are bright on black, and they really are as good as they look. They're really good. They go into Pattern Keeper, not a problem. This is a cherry cooler or something, I believe. It's like a cherry slushy. Synthetic cherry flavour is one of my favourites. I'm not going to not drink it. It's lovely. Okay, so I have touched 3 of my Whip Go projects. The third one was my Dragon Eye, which will look like this eventually. And when I pulled it last week, it looked like this. I have put in 400 stitches, just in one stitch you go, 400 stitches, and now it looks like this. So I've just put in some of the colours here. I put in what I had in the colours I had lying around. I had a couple of park threads I worked in, and now I'm putting in black. So the black is going to go right round the eye, and it's got quite a nice eyeliner kind of over its eyelid. So I think I'm going to have a good stab at the black. Some of my gridding is rubbish. It's 10 stitches here and 11 stitches here, this one. So I need to take that grid line out and put a new grid line in because no good. But I would really, really like to get quite a substantial amount of this eyeball done, just to really eyeball. So that's really good. And this is this again is 32 count, so 16 count, so it's really lovely once you've got, because it's full coverage, but once you've got something, a key, you know, once you've got some stitches to go off, it's a piece of nonsense to stitch on it. Picking out new stitches here and there is a bit more, so I'm going to try and stick close, change my colour more often and stick close and just kind of fill it in a bit more as I go. So there's that one. So that's the 3 of the 4 Whip Go projects. I've not yet put the Better to See You With in a queue snap, so he's still in the queue. I thought I'd get a good bite of some of the others first. And then I've got Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. Got only 653 stitches this week. Almost all of them I think were black, and if I've got a picture, probably have. It was there. I might have moved the Q-snap. I think I definitely have moved the Q-snap. Anyway, it's here now. I am just working in those black stitches. When I started stitching on this with the black, I thought I'll just do the black. I think I had 45,000 black stitches to go, and anywhere that there is 310, I've put in 310. And I'm going, and then I move it down. I move it down 1 Q-snap, and then I go back along, and then by and by I've got 2 more passes. I think I've got 2 more passes. I'll get all the way across here, and across here, look, there is nothing. So the black's really going to stand out when I get past my fox, who is there. Once I get past that and go that way, I am stitching into very dirty Ada, but onto bits that have not yet had any stitching touch them, so that's good. And I'm quite happy jogging along stitching in black. I really am. I do it, it's my last job of the night, 1 strand or 2 strands. I did 207 2 nights ago, so I was obviously a bit more awake and just wanted to put in a couple extra strands, and that works out really nicely. I'm really squinty. I'm realising I'm really squinting into the light in here, but it's so gloriously light. So I touch it every day. I'm finding that's working for me right now. I would dearly love to do the 1% a month that I used to do, but you know, I've got too much else to stitch on and not as much stitchy time as I used to have. So, you know, that's life. So we're on to long dogs. And I have actually done my spin. I've realised I am still a few stitches short, so the piece I am stitching on right now, which I'll insert my clips to make it work properly, I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to finish that off before I go on my next spin, but I've done my spin so I could show you. And then I pulled up Pattern Keeper and realised I've not done enough stitches today. I'm about 30 stitches short, but I've done my spin. So anyway, I'm going to insert my long dog clips here. I think there's 2. I'll show you them now anyway. Hi guys, good morning. I'm just popping on to do my next spin. It's taken me 4 days because I'm back to work. On my pointed 5th, I finished off this morning and I've done 1,075 stitches, and they've all gone in here. So you'll have just seen the start piece, and what I've done is I've just been filling in here. Not quite finished, but that's for next time, and that was just using 3844 here in this band. So it's very nearly done. I've just got this little bit to go, and then I'll use the 3844 to be the blend, which as you can see on this one is done because I've done that bit there. This bit's got the blend done, so I need to blend here, and I need to blend this bit, and then just these two corners here. And then that'll be the 3844 completely done, and then we'll move down onto the next colour. As you can see, we are closing in, she says closing in on the end of it. It's come out now, it's gone from 65.67% to 67.27%. So 1,000 stitches puts in just under 2%, like 1.6, 1.7%. So that's jolly good. So my pointed fifth is gone away in his bag. I can put him back in my basket for a little while now, until, because he'll now be off the wheel until I've stitched all my pieces. So that's put away there in the bag. I have just done my spin, which I will put up here in front of Richard's head, who probably doesn't know that he's in shot, but he is. Even though he can't see a thing, he still knows exactly where he's turning his head to. Okay, where's it gone? Where's it gone? I had it just the other day because I filched out the thread for Castles in the Air. Oh, come on, what have I done with it? Not that one. Anyway, as you can see from the spin, it's come out as Happily Ever After, which I haven't got very much done on. I'm still looking for. I'll find it right now. I literally have it here. I know I do because I borrowed threads from it just the other day. Oh, crikey, except I haven't got it when I need it. There it is. It's in this bag. I found it. Right, I need to sort out my bags a little bit there. I'm in a bit of a muddle. Anyway, right, so Happily Ever After. I'll probably put a picture up of this because I've not done a great deal of it. What I have done is 10.3%, and I have nearly finished the frame for the words, for the letters. I need something behind this. Let's use the project bag. This is on a piece of 18 count Ada, which came to me dyed. It was lilac with like a navy blue speckle. You can still see the speckles are on it, but then I over dyed it with grey and blue to give this rather nice, very highly mottled look. Anyway, so Happily Ever After is going on there. So far I've got one bunny and I've still got a few boxes to put here. So at the moment it's only got 1,589 stitches in it. So we're going to add another 1,000 to that, which should bring it to about 18%. It's at 10.3. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the next 1,000 long dog stitches. I do have a ring here, but it's very scrappy. I'm going to put these all on thread drops because my silks are in a terrible mess. I've got Quicksilver, I've got Black Sand Beach, I've got charcoal, and then some colour and cottons, Spectre and Chimney Sweep. So they're the greys and the almost whites. Oh, pearl white's in there as well. I did the bunny in the pearl white. And then for the highlights and the accents, I've got a spool of Aurifil in this beautiful purple colour, which I haven't even opened yet. So maybe we'll put something on with that. But first things first, I'm going to get these boxes finished. I'm going to put them on proper thread drops. And then I'm going to get these boxes finished. They're over here. And yeah, see where 1,000 stitches takes us. That should be quite a big chunk into that one, because it is a little one. It's only a 15,000 stitch long dog, so it's only a little tiny one. It is a sort of an eighth of the size of 10th, yeah, about an eighth of the size of Saga. This, it is tiny in comparison to Huge Great Saga. I'm going to work with a green finger. I did the last bit of dyeing last night. I had a few fabrics that hadn't had like speckled over the mottled over dye, so I did green last night. I'm going to work with a green finger. Oops. I'll be going to work in about an hour and a half, so may get some stitches in. We shall see. I will see you later. Bye bye. So, happily ever after, I have been at happily ever after, this is day 5, mostly because it took me a little while to get into it and I don't know why. Anyway, I'll show you where I am. I'm here. So, and I've made some mistakes. So that's all the boxes for the words, and there is a bottom border that runs all the way along the bottom, and I'm hoping I've got enough of this glorious grey dinky dye, which I believe is Black Sand Beach, to go along the bottom. I have that much left of it. I might have another skein of it because I think I bought 2 of each, because I've got that one as well, which they look quite different until they're stitched up next to each other, and then you can't tell them apart. In fact, I am reasonably sure that I have used one strand of the darker thread here. Oops. Here, in the top of this R, there, I am pretty sure there's a strand of the darker there that I've worked in by mistake. It just looks a slightly different tone, and they're not very long strands, so it's not very long, it's not a big chunk. So I put in the ooh because I was struggling to count this box, and the O is 1 stitch too long, so I had to make that O 1 stitch too long. So we're trailing 2 stitches long here, and then I've realised that the page break runs along the top of this line, so all of these boxes are 1 stitch shorter. Now it means nothing other than the R is 1 stitch too short. The gap, it's only got a 1 stitch gap, and it should have a 2 stitch gap. So these are big and that's small, and all of these ones here are small. Am I going to fix it? No, I am not. No, I am not. And this is like a little birdie cage here, and here's my colour palette. Now I was going to do the words, I didn't know what colour I was going to do the letters, and because I needed to count this O and get it right, these ooh here for love and roots, I started off in, I pulled black, I pulled coal, Weeks Dye Works coal, and I looked at it and I thought, there's a lot of blue speckle in this fabric, I'm going to use blue. So I've pulled a couple of strands of 939. Now this is Chinese knockoff thread because it came in the kit, the Brave kit from Tapestry Market, so it's knockoff Chinese dodgy thread. It's not going to get washed. I haven't spilled anything gross on it yet, so it's not going to get washed. Plus it's got silks and stuff in it, so I'm going to be slightly careful with it. So 939 it is, just for my letters, and then I'll see if I put it in anywhere else. But I need to be brave and branch out and start using some of the other colours once I've, you know, got there. But as I say, this is basically it now. This is we're going to call this done, although I am going to put in just the extra stitches. And there's just one little bunny there in the white that you can see here, and there we are. So it's a nice small one, this very nice small one, and but still with the pattern keeper error, which is mildly frustrating when you realise, you suddenly look and you go, oh god, really? And I've already done so much of it. It's well, it's going to be 1,000 stitches further on than it was. I was going to tell you how many stitches I've done, but I haven't done them yet, and my book's not here. My book is somewhere else. Cosmo's been sitting on every flat surface, getting too hot and moving, and everything's just been sliding off the flat surfaces. There's my book. So Happily Ever After started at 1,589, so it's going to be about, we're going to be about 2,500 stitches into it now, as it is there. So this one will be put away when I have actually gone over the 1,000 stitch. I'll probably put one more strand in, probably here. I'm probably just going to put one strand in just there, just to put in the extra stitches to take me over the 1,000. And then I spun. I'm going to put my spin up here, because I was prepping for my video and I did my winner my stitch winner for the giveaway. And I thought, oh, I'll do my long dog spin. I must be nearly there. And then I checked Pattern Keeper and I was off. And I was going to do it. And then we went to Tim Hortons. So I didn't. But as you can see, it has come out as Saga. So Saga slipped through the net. Here is my thunk. Here is my yard of fabric for Saga. Saga slipped through the net because it's already been worked on twice and now it's spun again. From now on, Saga will not be on the wheel. I did the first, I think it's the first like 10 or 15, first 10 or 11 were there. Everything was on the wheel. And this is now the third time Saga's come up. So its ratio of coming up, it was high. So I've now set it so that once it's spun, it comes off the wheel so that everything will get a go, and then I'll put it all back on the wheel and we'll do the same again. Pretty much indefinitely, I think. So Saga's going to get 1,000 stitches, and there's going to be quite novel progress here because I'm now going down columns. So there's going to be a six stitch depth before I change colour. So I'm going to do the 6 stitch depth there, 6 stitch depth there, and along until I've done 1,000 stitches. So I think these columns are going to be done because they're quite narrow little columns, and now I'm only doing 6 stitches depth of each colour. So I think we're going to be up for some colour changes and 1,000 stitches going into Saga, which is good fun. Good fun. I love this fabric. It is flapper and it is very purple. It's more purple than it's showing, and I'm just running a 6 stitch depth of the colour unless it's going to run out. If I've done my 6 stitch depth all the way across and I've got like a strand left, you know, a six piece of twist, I will use it up. If I've still got half a skein and I've done my 6, which is going to happen in these columns, I won't do that. I will just leave it and put it aside, put it back on the ring of I've used them. So that's how that's working. So I'll figure this all out, find out where I am, figure it out and get on with that. There we go. And I need to go and get meditation to show you because I worked on meditation twice at the back end of July, which is one of my carryover stitches. So I'll go and grab that and then I'll show you that. Right, I've been in Fetch Meditation. Meditation got 553 stitches. I'm still behind. I still need to do more. But I thought, I don't know if I took a picture. If I took a picture of it, I'll put it up. Now I was colour completing this and doing this, that and the other on it. Yeah, I've just been stitching on it and pulling the colours as I go. I'm currently stitching 720, which is this really gorgeous bright orange. And that's where I am at the minute. So I've come down and round. The 720 has come. I'm basically colour completing the 720 because it's the colour I picked up, but it wasn't the colour I was on, if you see what I mean. I couldn't find that in my box and just went, carry on. So this has got a very long way to go and I'm still trailing a little bit with my Whip Go goal from ages ago. So I'm gonna catch myself up. I'm gonna catch myself up soon enough. But I needed to show you that. There we go. So that's all of my whips. I'll do my giveaway now. So last week's giveaway was for this Dragon's Eye needle minder. I need to make some more Dragon Eye needle minders. And I did my spin. Thank you for your lovely comments. Much appreciated. And as you can see, the winner has come out as Civ Beige 8835. I'm putting your picture and your name up on the screen here so you can see. Please contact me and I will get this in the post to you. I do post them out eventually. Sometimes I'm doing posting and they go really quickly. Sometimes I'm a little bit tardy and they go eventually, I promise. Eventually you will get your giveaways if you win from me. I'm just a little bit rubbish sometimes. My brain works against me sometimes, which I find very difficult to deal with, but I get there in the end. Speaking of which, I am up to date currently with everything. Needle Minder of the Months went out yesterday. I did have quite a few unpaid invoices last month, which is absolutely fine. But if you normally get one from me and you didn't see the invoice and you want it, if you just find your invoice and pay it, I'll post them. There's no like deadline for it. If you find your invoice and pay it, then I'll post it on. I'm just sort of saying, only I had quite a few more than normal not pay, which is, you know, which is cool, absolutely fine. I'm Lakeside Needlecraft Fabric of the Month, and I think I've bought like 4 in a year, because some months I can, some months I don't like them, because you get to choose whether you pay it or not, but you get to see the fabric. This is obviously a mystery needle minder giveaway, a mystery needle minder of the month club. So this month, we will give away this video. We will give away this needle minder, which is one of my spring last yearish ones. Little wooden bird, again, very thin, resin coating, very light, with some of my terrible painting on it. 2 little bunnies on the birdie. So if you want to be in the lucky dip to win this, leave me any kind of comment, because we've got 3 weeks of these, because I finished 3 boxes, didn't I? So this is the one for this week. It's the little birdie. Any kind of comment, and that'd be lovely. Now, I've got something wonderful, I hope, to show you that arrived in the post today. I've been waiting for. But I'm just going to very quickly say, I am very nearly ready to list things in my Ko-fi. My fabrics are just getting finished off. And by finished off, I mean I'm doing the tags on them. So my fabrics that I've hand dyed look loosely like this. And what I'm doing, as I'm giving the size, 25, this is 25 count, it's what I got, and it is green mottle. And I'm really very pleased, look at that. I'm really very pleased with how my mottles came out. But what I'm doing when I do this is I'm putting the size in inches and centimetres, and then on the back I've picked one with a dark piece of thing on it. I'm giving you the maximum size with a 2-inch margin, so you can see at a glance if your pattern will fit it. So because this is 25 count over 1, the maximum size with a 2-inch margin is 250 by 250. So if you had a pattern in mind and it was 255 by 240, it would fit on this piece of fabric. That's with, and I'm not including the selvage. So it's, you know, that gives it an extra ½ inch one way, which isn't included in any of the sums. I'm just on stitching area here, and so 2-inch margin, and I'm giving you, I'm actually putting the maximum size, and if it's a 32 count, I'll give it in 16, I'll give it over 2 and over 1. So that's taking me a minute to sort all that, but I think that's really quite a good thing to know in advance, what size would fit on your fabric. But this is one of the ones that I was really pleased with. It's got several shades of green, it's got like a brighter green, you can see some of the brighter green here, and then it's got this mottle that I am so pleased with. Anyway, there's lots of pieces like this. They will be going up in my Ko-fi, as will my all my bags and my notions pouches, and loads of bits and bobs. I'm going to do, the fabric's all going to drop together. The fabric's dropping together, and then the fabric and the bags will probably drop together. And then after that, I'm just going to keep putting things in, and we'll see how we go with the fabric, because I absolutely love dyeing it. It's never going to be a big batch. It's only ever going to be individual, what I fancy doing that day kind of dyeing. It's not going to be something I can reproduce I am not obviously not a professional dyer, but these have been, as best I can make them a colour fast, they have been through the washing machine. So I finished them all off and I put them in the washing machine and then hung them on the line until they were almost dry, and then have pressed them to get them as beautiful as I can, and they smell as nice as I can make them. But yeah, so there shouldn't be any colour bleed off these. Can't guarantee if you had to wash them it wouldn't pale out a little bit, but they have been washed in a machine, because that's how I roll. I just put the whole lot in the washing machine, put one of my gorgeous laundry pods in and shut the door and put it on and went, what's going to happen? And they came out really well. I was very pleased. Anyway, that's that out of the way. That will be going in my Ko-fi shop, which if you go to Ko-fi, which is like a website set up for creators to share what they're doing, really, and what have you. It's like Buy Me a Coffee. It's Ko-fi, Ko-fi. So quite easy. You can just search Crafty Emily, spelled the way I spell Crafty Emily, or the link will be in the description box of this video. But I am about 2/3 of the way through labelling up the fabric, and I just want to do it like that. I've started opening. So, I got this in the mail today. I have been waiting for this. I'm only opening it so poorly because I'm oh my. So one of my really lovely people who comments a lot and is just generally a wonderful human person sent me a gift card. I've never had one of these before, and I was going to sit on it, and then I thought, no, I'm going to spend my gift cards. You know, when you're feeling a bit low and you need to do something. Well, I was feeling a bit low and I needed to do something, and I don't know which is which. So I ordered 2, one of which I will show you now. Guarantee I opened the wrong one. Let's see. I'm going to show you one now, and then the other one is not for today. Guarantee I've just opened the wrong one. I've opened the right one. I've opened the right one. That one I'm not opening. I will show you that one another time. So, Gecko Rouge kit. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I've never opened one of these. I've never had one. Got a little charm. Well, he's going on my scissor fob, isn't he? Like straight away. How glorious. It's the little things, isn't it? It really is the little things. Okay, so what did I choose? I chose, there's no nice way of doing this. I chose this. It's Leslie D. Mackenzie, Ursa Major. Look. Now, I'm Orion's mine. I love Orion very much. But the Great Bear, Ursa Major, is very, very prominent in our northern skies. And just the look on this polar bear's face just absolutely sold me. He is just like, oh, still hanging around up here in the sky. So, I have had these loaded into my pattern keeper for a while. I've had this one loaded in for a while. Oh, wow. So, cover sheet, colour chart, doesn't matter, it's in pattern keeper. And then I've got this. Oh my, look. Look at these threads. Look, it's all the colours I don't like. None of these colours are my colours, are they? Isn't it wonderful? Oh, wow. So, there we go. I have kit. Now, I have bought a 25 count Easy Grid. which will make it this big. However, I'm not going to stitch it 25 count. I'm going to stitch it on 20 count because that's my sweet spot. And you can, the thing with Gecko Rouge, everybody knows Gecko Rouge, I'm sure. They are a kit. You can only really buy kits. If you're in their Patreon, you can buy charts once in a while. But predominantly they make kits. And if you want the pattern, you've got to buy the kit. So their 25 count kit, that piece of fabric, all this thread, it's meant to be 2/1. Now I stitch 1/1 on 20 count, so my very basic maths tells me there's more than enough floss here to do it 1/1 on 20 count, because that's where I'm comfy stitching. The other one I've bought is 18 count, but I'm not showing you that yet. So I've got a new start. I do not have a piece of 20 count big enough, I don't think. So I will procure myself some 20 count Ada, Easy Grid Ada, and I will start this. If I order it now, it should come before my birthday, and I might have 2 birthday starts. Not that this is not a birthday present, this is an amazing gift, but I might make it a birthday start. Look at the box it comes in. I mean, just the presentation is marvellous. This is what we aspire to. This is about as far from my chaotic DMC world. Can't even show. Can I show you my chaos? No, most of the chaos is on the floor. This is how I roll. Look, I have got fabric scissors in with DMCs, in with a 10mm spanner, because we always need those. We actually do always need a 10mm spanner. In with polymer clay tools and jars of glitter. Yep, that's how I roll. I actually really need these. Anyway, that's how we go. Woo, light. So there we are, guys. I got Gecko Rouge kit 2, but one I'm going to start now. Ursa Major, absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to get going on it. It will feature very heavily in my next year's stitching. That's what we're going to say. I've got a couple, I think next year, I really am just going to shake it up completely. And I'm going to park an awful lot of my whips next year. And I'm going to stitch on new things. I've got the Clisson Dragon here. I've got the Max Colour version of that, and I think I'm going to start that too. So that might be a new year, new start. It might be I just want to start it, new start. But I think next year I'm going to start new things that are now for me. Because a lot of I'm actually finishing up a lot of my old things this year. I'm finishing a lot of my old ones. The big full coverages are not going to get finished anytime soon. But I think I'm going to narrow it down to 12, maybe 12. And they're going to go into the Whipco tree twice. There's going to be a long dog in every box. No negotiation, a long dog in every box. And then there's going to be one other piece, which is probably going to be one of 12. So each one's going to get 2 rolls, and it's going to be things that are new and things that I want to stitch on. So meditation probably won't get stitched on next year, but my new kit will. Clisson Dragon will. Treasure Hunt bookshelf is non-negotiable. But we'll see what else I actually want to stitch on next year, and we'll see, as well as everything else that I stitch as well, of course, because they're all going to be in there too. But yeah, and I know it's August and I'm thinking about it now, but it's August. We're already in month 8, so realistically I've got to get my skates on anyway, because we're nearly at Christmas. It's going to be Christmas. It's really, Halloween is next. Halloween's next, and then Christmas around the corner. So better get on. Right, I'm going to go and I'm going to order some 20 count fader, and I'm going to stitch on Night Walk Down. Night Walk Down is going to be stitched on today, after I finish my stitches on Happily Ever After. That's first, then Night Walk Down, then I'm going to try and get the rest of my fabrics all marked up so that I know exactly where I am with them. I'm so pleased with these. I'm so pleased with them. Right, I'll see you next week. I'm on earlies all next week. I will see you Wednesday afternoon for sure. Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching me and all your support always. Thank you guys. Bye bye.